Main event time here at Anarchy, and it is for the Anarchy Wrestling Tag Team Championship. The tag team champions, the Temptation Shaun Tempers, the Deadly Se7en, Jeff G. Bailey's Elite Team, taking on the Stray Cat Brody Chase, former Anarchy Heavyweight Champion, the untouchable Jeremy Vane, Andrew Pendelton III. I know you know all about the Tag Team Championship yourself, a former three-time Tag Team Champion.
Not only that, but not only a three-time former Tag Team Champion, also a member of the former member of the NWA Elite. Prior to the disbanding of Talent and Money. And again, you talk about simply a dynasty in Anarchy Wrestling. That is, anybody that Jeff G. Bailey manages, the NWA Elite, he just brings the best and the brightest together under one roof, gets them under one goal, one mind, one mindset, and they always accomplish their task. It's just amazing to see how much success he's had, wrestler after wrestler, year after year. You know, again, top talent, Andrew Pendelton III, Shaun Tempers, Deadly Se7en. It's amazing, and that's what he gets paid for.
Well, we see Tempers working on the ribs of the untouchable Jeremy Vane. Those ribs were injured last week on this program. Jeremy Vane, over the course of 2 matches, spent almost a half hour in the ring with all 3 members of Unforgivable Blackness. First in the tag team encounter against Shadow Jackson and Nemesis, and then in a championship loss where he lost the heavyweight title to 475 pounds of Jeter.
And again, you talk about a game plan and why the NWA Elite is why the Elite is so successful. It's because they come into this match with a game plan. They come in to the match knowing that Jeremy Vane has hurt ribs. They're going to focus on those hurt ribs.
Well, you know, in a sense, last week on the program, Nemesis and Shadow Jackson handed Jeremy Vane to Jeter on a silver platter. They spent almost the entire match working on his ribs, and he knew he had a second match coming up. He knew he had to defend the heavyweight title, but that's the kind of superstar that Jeremy Vane is. He knew coming into the #1 Contenders tournament that he would have to possibly wrestle twice in an evening.
He knew that was his only shot, and he did what he had to do, but that was his only shot. Don't act like it's anything else.
Well, this week, Jeremy Vane has the opportunity to get tag team gold, teaming with Brody Chase against Shaun Tempers and the Deadly Se7en. So in the course of 7 days, he could lose the heavyweight title and win the tag team titles.
And you know, I mean, pigs could fly, but I mean, the simple fact is, you're looking at two of the greatest champions since Talent and Money that have ever graced the Anarchy Arena. So you expect that a team like Brody Ray Chase and Jeremy Vane could compete with these caliber guys? Maybe individually, and maybe once out of 10, but not 90% of the time it's a losing battle.
A little bit of a strategy session going on between Brody Chase and Jeremy Vane as the 300-pound Deadly Se7en is inside the squared circle.
And again, let's talk about what is the difference between success and failure. It's having that game plan, and you talk about the master manipulator, the mastermind game of Jeff G. Bailey. Just a man that knows where every chess piece goes and is 10 steps ahead of you at every turn.
You know, we've made mention several times about the edict that Franklin Dove put over about these alliances only having 3 members. Pendelton, with you returning next week, have you given any thoughts to being involved with other superstars in a group? You've had loose alliances with the likes of Bobby Moore, John Schuyler in the past. Is there strength in numbers?
You know, I've thought about it. There is strength in numbers. And you know what I have to think is it fair for a man of my caliber and talent to team up with 2 other people? I mean, we would clearly dominate all of Anarchy Wrestling. I don't know if it's even fair to the rest of Anarchy Wrestling. Do I care if it's fair? Probably not. Question is, where is a man of that caliber in Anarchy Wrestling that could team with me? Do you think there's a man that has the charisma, the skill set, the pedigree, the history that Andrew Pendelton III has? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if there are 2 men that I can think of that I'd love to join up with, 1 and 2 are in the ring.
Well, it's excellent choices. I will give you that. No love lost at all between the Stray Cat Brody Chase and the Temptation Shaun Tempers. These two trading the Anarchy Heavyweight Championship many times in the course of the last year. Back and forth several times.
And again, you talk about one of the greatest champions in the history of Anarchy Wrestling. Shaun Tempers holding several championships all across the country and the world. But again, a staple, almost a dynasty at Anarchy Wrestling. He's continuously performed year after year. One time a part of the Devil's Rejects, his rebirth with the Elite. I mean, just a man with a storied career.
Well, think when the Temptation, Shaun Tempers, was heavyweight champion, he was also holding the North American Heavyweight Championship, was defending the North American title all over the U.S., in addition to the Heavyweight Championship here at Anarchy.
And again, you talk about one of the most decorated champions in the history of Anarchy Wrestling, and that is, and that's Shaun Tempers.
That slam looked to cause the Temptation to land on his shoulder. Now an armbar almost applied by the straight cat Brody Chase, but here comes the deadly Se7en, and he leaps with that elbow.
And you know, the ref needs to get Jeremy Vane out of this ring. The ref simply needs to get Jeremy Vane out of the ring. You see, I mean, this is embarrassing. This is a tag team contest. Jeremy Vane was not tagged in. He does not belong in the ring. You see him trying. He's pushing up on our ref, Dee Byers here. He may just get disqualified and lose his opportunity at the tag team titles.
Andrew Pendleton, I noticed as we go into our main event that the crowd here seems to have almost tripled. Did you tell them we were starting later this week?
No, I mean, you know, this, the caliber of star power we have in this ring now attracts a gigantic crowd. There is not an empty seat in the Anarchy Arena since the beginning of this match. Our bleachers all around the ring, the front rows, the back rows, the middle rows, the 4 rows, they're all filled up. And we have some fans just screaming. I mean, these fans are excited about such an amazing tag team contest. And then again, these fans may have confused, thinking that this week is next week. They heard Andrew Pendleton III was making his triumphant debut, his resurgence into the wrestling scene.
Are you saying these people are camping out for next show?
Oh, well, you know what? They probably have tents outside because they're buying tickets, because they're probably selling out as fast as they can print them. We may need a bigger arena. We may have to put in a balcony in this arena to fit the Andrew Pendleton Maniacs into the, I don't even have a name for them yet. There's so many of them. The flash mob that Andrew Pendleton creates when he goes anywhere. Yeah, I was out in the parking lot signing kids' foreheads earlier tonight.
That mom didn't seem too happy when you signed her kid's forehead.
Well, you know what? The kid didn't know about it, but who cares? I don't care. You know what? If you're 3 months old, then you don't need to wash your baby, because that signature's going to be worth something.
But you signed "I'm a moron."
Well, you know what? I thought it, you know, I was like, yeah, they are probably Brett Wolverton fans. And so that's why I signed it. And again, Brody Ray Chase in a bad way has got that neck twisted sideways. And you know, Shaun Tempers wearing down that neck, you know, with that neck breaker in his arsenal.
Tag made to the deadly Se7en. And Brody Chase does not want to be in the corner of the tag team champions. It allows for the double teams, although the Temptation did get out on the apron.
And you can see the you can see the Elite cutting off half of the ring, keeping Brody Ray Chase away from making that tag to Jeremy Vane, and that's smart tag team wrestling. I did that for years. That's how I held on to the tag team champions for so long.
That is the goal of every tag team wrestler, is to keep your opponent on your side of the squared circle, cut the ring in half, even if you can, maybe even cut it into 3/4 your side and 1/4 away. If you can keep them in just that tiny corner and away from their tag team partner. Knee by the deadly Se7en now. And a shoulder to the midsection. The deadly Se7en is going to wear out the
that shoulder into his midsection.
You know, the power of the deadly Se7en, the slams, that leaping elbow. The leaping elbow that won them the tag team championship back at Hostile Environment.
And again, you know, they're using 3 of the most basic wrestling principles. You can't see, you can't fight. You can't stand, you can't fight. You can't breathe, you can't fight.
Boot to the midsection. Brody Chase, double underhook, goes for the DDT and connects. But he needs to make the tag.
Both men are down, and there's no movement of Brody Ray Chase. And we have referee Dee Byers making the 10 count.
Well, those ribs don't seem to be bothering Jeremy Vane as he's clapping and cheering on the apron, trying to get Brody Chase over to his corner.
Jeremy Vane is simply on fire, and Shaun Tempers has to stop this. If he is to make that tag, it could create a lot of trouble for the Elite.
Brody is so close, he makes the tag. Tempers not even able to get into the ring, gets brought in the hard way. Jeremy Vane with a clothesline and a second one. Up into the inverted atomic drop. Tries for the fireman's carry. Almost lost him into the Death Valley driver. I think Tempers landed on his head. Dee Byers was trying to get
He might be out cold. He might be out. And the Se7en making the last second save here.
That if he had waited just a fraction of a second longer, we would have had new tag team champions. Brody Chase comes in, elbows the Deadly Sin 7. It goes out onto the floor after him, leaving it one-on-one inside the squared circle. The last two superstars before Jeter to hold the heavyweight championship, the Temptation, Shaun Tempers and Jeremy Vane. This isn't for the heavyweight title. This contest, your main event for the tag team championship here this week.
And I mean, the Rev has got to get control of the match. We have Brody Ray and we have the Deadly Sin 7 fighting on the outside of the ring.
Neck
and here
breaker.
we see the neck breaker.
Reversal into the corner.
Are we going to see the knee? Oh, and the kick to the jaw. And this could be it. Are we going to see the VDT? Are we going to... It's a...
He connects with the VDT, but right behind him is the Deadly Sin 7. Just drives Vane into the corner.
And Dee Byers needs to get control of this match. Dee Byers needs to step in and stop this.
What? Oh, no. No, big slam. A big slam by 7.
Continue to work on that core and that lower back.
1, 2, and somehow he was able to kick out.
And I can't see why Dee Byers is allowing this contest to continue. This contest is obviously over.
Your winners of the match, and still the Anarchy Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the team of the Temptation, Shaun Tempers, the Deadly Sin 7, they are the Elite!
Jeremy Vane tried. He had the VDT, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Still your tag team champions, the Deadly Sin 7, the Temptation, Shaun Tempers, Jeff G. Bailey's Elite.
And what a win for the Elite and Jeff G. Bailey, the tag team, your reigning and defending tag team champions, the Elite.